Okay, I took a short commercial break. Now we're back in business. We are back in business. I'm gonna see my necklace. Okay, let's continue this, shall we? Bro, there are like so many questions. How am I going to answer everything on my own? Okay. What should I use to remove dark circles under the eyes? Sleep. I know it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, the only thing that causes dark circles is lack of sleep and tiredness. If you're able to sleep at least 6 hours a day every day, that's the best remedy. I'm not saying I don't completely have dark circles. I do, because my sleeping schedule is sometimes messed up, but sleep. That's it. Just sleep. Dealing with mental health. Mental health, to be honest, is a very, very how is the camera? Yeah. Mental health is one of those topics that are extremely sensitive and long, because there's so many things, so many factors that affect mental health. But like I said earlier on, I'm not going to repeat questions, but if you're dealing with stuff like anxiety, depression, mental health issues, earlier on in the video I did mention some remedies like journaling, meditation, prayer, doing your favorite stuff, like be it YouTubing like me. This actually does help to keep my mental health in check. Some people it's music, some people it's talking to a friend, going out. You need to find your coping mechanism, because mental health is something you always have to keep in check no matter what. Avoid situations that affect your peace and your mental health, basically, because you don't want to be around people or things that constantly make you question your mental health. Height insecurities. Too tall and too skinny. Girl, we all have insecurities. I've been there. The skinny one, I've been there. Where you just feel like you look like a stick in all your clothes. And I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but trust me when I say, like, we've all been there. Either you were laughed at for being too big or for being too small. We've all been there, trust. But I feel like the best way to deal with those insecurities is accept who you are and embrace it. Have you seen how good models look, girl? Have you seen? I'll use Kendall Jenner as an example. Since we're primarily black. I don't know what I'm talking about, but there are like Atluvuma. Yes, Atluvuma. I'm going to put a picture of her over here. She's like one of the most beautiful women I know. And have you seen her? Like, she is small, like skinny, but she embraces it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you let people's comments about you consume you, you will fail to embrace who you are as a person. God made you like that for a reason. Use your height, do sports, use your take picture, just embrace who you are, because God made us like this for a reason. And it just depends on you to realize that, okay, he maybe thought I can be a model, he maybe thought I can be playing volleyball, playing basketball. I have a lot of tall and skinny friends that are doing well, and me saying that they're skinny is not me trying to body shame them. It's me trying to tell you that there are people that look like that are completely comfortable with it. So you have to be able to accept it, be comfortable, and embrace it. Skincare, fashion, and school. This question, really, it was I don't understand what you mean by skincare, fashion, and school. Like, you get what I'm saying? I wish you had gone deeper into this, so I'm not really going to answer this because I don't know what you want. I'm not trying to be rude, but you know what I'm saying. How do you become more confident around how do you become more confident around an intimidating environment? Confidence starts from within. Like, it literally starts from within. So you will never be in a situation or a place that makes you feel completely 100% secure. That's a fact, because trust me, do sometimes feel like my confidence levels are deteriorating when I'm in a room full of so many people, because I've got a little bit of social anxiety. Like, personally, even when I go to class, it's crazy because Yeah, so like I was saying, I have some social anxiety. So you find out like when I walk into like a classroom full of people, or like just a place where there's so many people, I tend to feel awkward. But that shouldn't like let you, you know, shake your confidence. There's the best way I can tell you to like keep your confidence levels up when you're like in an intimidating environment is to remember who the hell you are, and remember that, you know, at the end of the day we're all the same, and at the end of the day everybody has got like issues. So what you're dealing with shouldn't make you feel any less of a person in an intimidating environment, you know. Anytime that your friend is toxic, I've dealt with that already. How to be more organized and clean, I have dealt with this. I have explained this thoroughly in my self-care vlog. I'm going to leave the link up there, or a card up there. You guys should check it out. But the best way to be organized and clean is to do your organizing and cleaning every single day. Like in the morning when you wake up, make your bed, eat breakfast, clean your room. Like I feel like you need to, being in a clean environment is extremely important. You can't be looking good, you know, where you're coming from is dirty, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to make sure that you really clean where you're coming from, like your surroundings, your room, your bedroom, your body, your clothes, everything, you know. Cleanliness is next to godliness and should be done on a daily basis. You can't say I'll clean my room next day. Girl, are you clean for real? You know what I'm saying? Skin related, which lotion is best to keep skin moisturized and healthy? It depends on you as a person, because what may work for me may not work for you. And I've explained to you guys my skincare routine so many times. You guys can check out the following videos. I've explained my skincare routine so many times, but for me personally, what I use on my body, I alternate. Sometimes I may use dry, sometimes I use fair and wet. It depends on how I'm feeling. For my face, I use Visa, but it all depends on what suits you. I don't have any specific recommendations, but that's what I use. How do you balance your school, YouTube, and social life? Okay, please, because I've tried and failed. I have broken this down in one of my videos. I think that was the deep and controversial chit that I did. I broke this down exclusively. So if you want like everything, you can hit on the exact shit. I'm going to leave the card up here again. But like I said, just briefly, make a timetable so that you're able to know when you do A, B, C, and D. Because for me personally, I restrict this like the weekdays for school and studying, and then I can do videos on the weekend. I can edit on the weekend, see my friends on the weekend, edit on the weekend. So be organized and have a timetable. It really does save you a lot of time and, you know, effort. I don't know how to balance my school and my social life. I do it in school, but there are times when it's hard. I've explained this briefly, but there's a video explaining this in depth. Okay, so hey guys. So while I was answering you guys' questions in the video, I noticed that a lot of you are asking questions that I've answered before in my previous videos. So what I did was, to prevent me answering the same questions over and over, I just showed you guys what videos to click on. I left cards, or you're going to see cards in the video, like little pop-ups at the, I think that's the top right corner of the screen. And I'm also going to leave the links to each and every video in the description box down below. So if there's a question that you asked and I referred it to a video, please make sure you watch it and get the answer that you need, because I understand that I've got some new subscribers, so probably you were not like subscribed, or you didn't watch some of my like earlier videos and stuff like that where I answered those questions. So that's the main reason why I didn't want to like answer them again, because I broke them down. Some of them were actually like main topics, because as you guys can see, for example, the question about balancing school and social life, I did that one in my controversial chit chat, and that video was like quite long as well, but then I broke everything down properly for you guys. So just check on, like, click on those videos to get the answers that you want. And then yeah guys, you guys check that video out as well. What products do you use to get rid of dark spots? For me, like I said, my skin is funny. Right now it's okay, not perfect, but it's okay, and I've been using videos for the longest time. So I don't really have like a deep skincare routine. It all depends on what works for you as a person. I don't have any recommendations either, because I've been lying to you to say this and this works. But just try as many things as you can and find what suits your skin. Okay, the next question was the because, you know, things like helping a girl out if she needs a pad, helping a girl out if you feel like she's about to be raped, helping a girl out, like, it's something that we have to be doing for each other. But when it comes to dating, maybe call me a bad person, but I feel like if that person is for you, he is for you. Girl, you cannot ignore feelings. Like, this I know, I'll be like, no, but as long as, you know that sometimes it has happened, and there's no person that can tell me they've never found that they are female friends, ex, like, directly or something. Like, these are things that happen, but I feel like you need to be able to communicate with your female friend and say, okay, girl, look, I don't really this person, but him and I are like catching on, so, like, you know, want to go ahead. So what I just mean by that is, if you want to go ahead with that, communicate and explain how you feel, and if that girl really is your friend, she'll have no problem with it. I know it can be hard, like, okay, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one, because you wouldn't want to see, or your friend rather wouldn't want to see the ex with you, and like, that's a fact. Can't run away from that. But I feel like as long as you guys yeah, sorry, my battery is like running low, so I need to wrap this up a bit. I feel like if you're able to communicate and, you know, be able to express to each other how you feel, then you know where to go from there. So it's all about communication. For me, I don't think it's a problem, because I've done it, but it depends on you guys, and I'm not going to get into details. So how to ignore distractions. It depends. What kind of distractions do you mean? Like, if you mean distractions, let's say like you're in school but you're constantly being distracted, it just means that your priorities are not straight. You have to prioritize what's important, because once your priorities are set straight, nothing can distract you. And I'm not going to beat about that. That's just how it is. How to stay true to yourself. You need to accept who you are and embrace it. I think I've said this so many times, because you guys do not pretend to be people that don't pretend to be somebody else. Ladies and the few gents that may see this video, you need to understand it's only ever going to be one you. There's never going to be two yous, three yous, you know what I'm saying? And you need to understand that regardless of what's happening around you, there's no one else who can bring the energy that you bring as a person. I know it can be hard. You see people with money, you see people like looking good. Don't be jealous. Work on yourself to make yourself appreciate how you appreciate other people's looks. Work on yourself to make yourself love your life the way you love other people's lives. I know it's not, sometimes we're born into situations that we can't really control, but you can always control how you as a person perceive that situation, and we can always make the life that we want. That's why you need to work hard in school to be able to afford A, B, C, and D, all these little things that we're told to do. Study and pass, because at the end of the day, we all want a certain life for ourselves. And personally, I do see myself like in a certain lifestyle. I'm not going to stop hustling and grinding until I get there. So you have to accept that where you are is where you're supposed to be for a reason, because God placed you there. Don't feel bad for being where you are or being who you are. Embrace who you are, and eventually you will find that as you get older, you appreciating where you were, because sometimes you end up regretting who you are and the way you see things now when you're older, when things become a little bit more difficult. So just accept who you are and embrace it. Your high school routine, how did you study to get 9-1s? It actually inspired me. I talked about this in depth in my chit chat video. I'm going to leave the cards up here and the links to all the things I've talked about in the description box, because there's certain issues that I feel like I've already talked about before, and I don't want to like get into that. I want to exclusively talk about like new stuff, because I can't keep on repeating the same things over and over again. How you grew your self-discipline. This one had a lot with God and prioritization. So know what you want and you will get it done. But if you want depth, the video link will be down below. How do you balance your social, education, or spiritual life at school? The video is going to be in the description box down below. Don't worry about that, Hannah got you. How do you do with studying without pressure? There's no studying without pressure. Right now I'm feeling pressured because I have to study, but there's no studying without pressure. But the best way to keep calm is to eat and sleep enough. I'm not talking about sleeping the whole day and sleeping when it's not necessary, but rest enough, get enough sleep, eat enough, and then you move about your day. Like, you go on and see how things, you know, will be playing out eventually. I want the lights to, how come the lights are not showing anymore? Like, I want the lights to show, like, in the video. Maybe I'm just crazy for wanting this, but yeah. So you need to make sure that you rest enough, eat enough, study enough. Don't let study without pressure is to study adequately. That's like the only thing that you can do. How do you stay in check with your friendships? How do you ensure that you're a good friend? You know you're a good friend if what you're doing to somebody is what you want them to do to you. Remember the golden rule, yeah? Do to your friends as you want them to do to you. So if what you're doing to them, if you would appreciate what you're doing for them, then you know you're being a good friend. Of course, we all have different values. Of course, we all have different aspects when it comes to like friendships. But if you feel like, if your friend actually comes to tell you like, look, I love how you, oh my god, my lip gloss is good. If your friend actually comes to tell you like, a really good friend I appreciate, yeah, they come to you like, I appreciate you as a friend to me and you're a really good friend and ABCD, then you know that you're doing a good job. But the better you can tell, the better to tell whether you're a good person generally is if what you're doing for people is stuff that you'd want them to do to you, be it materialistically, be it emotionally, spiritually, physically. If what you give off is the energy that you would love to receive, then you know you're being a good friend to that person. And then keeping in check, you know, constantly check up on your friends. I understand that like the older we get, we have different priorities. We have you know, we have busy schedules, we have school, businesses, and everything. Once in a while, call your friend, ask how they're doing, help out if you can, support them if you can. The best to do, check up on people, because you have no idea what people are going through. And I know sometimes you'll be like, no, but I'm watching people do not check up on me. As long as you check up on somebody, you will be at peace with yourself. Trust me. I know it took me a while to understand this, but you know that when you're kind to people, you feel some sort of peace. Like this heavy peace comes over you when you've been kind to somebody, and it's crazy. I think that's why Jesus really emphasized in the Bible, like, let's be kind to one another. Let's check up on people, see how they're doing, you know. Girl, like, just be a pretty girl with a pretty soul and a pretty personality, you know, period. Okay. Is it normal to take back a cheating guy? Cheating is a deal breaker, guys. It's a deal breaker for me. I talked about this in relationship tea. It's a deal breaker for me. Because if this person is able to hurt you once, obviously think they're not going to hurt you again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it depends on the situation. I'm not going to go into depth because I have a video about this in relationship tea. I've literally done a video about everything. I don't even know why, guys. You guys ask questions like you don't watch my videos, but I understand because I've got so many new subscribers. But if I'm a new subscriber, please just go back to my old videos. I've talked about a lot of these things before. But it's not normal. That's what I'm going to say. Like, it's not. Just get a new man. Is it normal to run out of things to talk about with your boyfriend, like completely going blank? Yes, we're only human. It's normal. That's why I would encourage you doing things like fun activities together, or, you know, watching movies together. Like, do activities and things that will bring up conversation. Constantly texting isn't supposed to be happening, but I understand sometimes there's like long distance does happen. But when you are able to see each other, or if you guys are not doing long distance but like you guys live in the same area or whatever, invest your time in doing practical activities together, because that gives you something to talk about, as compared to constantly texting how's your day and whatnot. Not that it's a bad thing, but the more, you know, activities you guys do, like even on the phone, you can say let's watch a movie, like using teleparty. Yeah, I do that a lot with mine, like teleparty. It helps. Like, okay, something's actually like going to be worth talking about, what I'm saying. Like, and sometimes I feel like once you feel like you don't have anything to talk about with this person, know that there's something that's going wrong, because it means that they're not putting in as much effort. It's normal, but it's not something that should be happening often. What's your experience with the communal bathroom in uni, if you've experienced it? I've experienced a communal bathroom in high school, not in university. University, I've got my own room, my own bathroom, my own kitchen. But in high school, communal bathrooms are disgusting. They are very disgusting, and it's disgusting. It's disgusting. What I can tell you is you just have to be really mindful of your area. Like, don't sit on the toilet seats. Ish, like high school bathrooms, like in the abs. Yeah, guys, it's bad. Especially when things like no water happen, and like there's no water. It can be crazy. Like, it can be very crazy. So my experience, it was bad. Because communal bathrooms are disgusting. They are, and they can make you sick. I don't know how many times I got sick. That's my experience. It was not nice. I don't even talk about it. Confidence tips. I literally have a whole video about confidence. So that means that you guys should go back to my old videos and watch them. But like I've said, rule number one to be a confident girl is to accept yourself. I think I've said it so many times, guys. Accept yourself for who you are and embrace it. Nurture yourself, love yourself, treat yourself the way you want to treat them, the way you want to be treated by other people. Be kind to yourself, like tell yourself, like, girl, you look pretty when you're looking pretty. Gas yourself up. Of course, it shouldn't lead to vanity, because vanity is a sin, but you know what I'm saying, like, love yourself. Relationships, I don't exactly know what you mean by relationships, but I've got a whole video about relationship tea, so you can tune into that video if you want to. How are you so confident? Personally, I don't care what people say about me. That's what I'm going to say. I feel like I said, do not limit yourself for the comfortability of other people. You need to understand that regardless of what you do with yourself, people will still talk. And no matter what you wear, no matter what you eat, no matter what hairstyle that you have, what you're studying, people will always talk. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the one thing that's helped me a lot is to understand that there's never going to be another Mwenzela, and I have to make sure that I embrace this one to the fullest, because once I die, it's over. You know what I'm saying? I have to understand that. And also, another thing that helped with confidence a lot is, a strong relationship with God. I think that's one of the best things I've ever done to myself, because trust me when I say no one can fumble me. Obviously, there are those days where I don't look so good, and then I just like, okay, but I'm ugly. Like, those things do happen. But generally, confidence, I can say, I have a video about it, but that's a few things that I do to keep myself, like, my levels up here, because nobody's gonna come fumble me. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving on really, really hard. Any advice on moving on? Embrace your feelings. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to kick and scream. The best way to heal is to embrace those feelings in the moment, so you don't have to go back to them and experience PTSD, post-traumatic disorder. What advice would you give your future self? What advice would I give my future self? My future self. What advice would I give my future self? Wait, that doesn't make sense. What advice would I give myself? Oh, I would say thank you for being you and for believing in yourself, because I know that my future self is going to be successful. Like, that's on period. What can I do if I get my period at school and there are no trash cans to throw the pads in? Firstly, what kind of school is that doesn't have trash cans to throw because I feel like every school should invest in those things. But if you don't, I would suggest using I'm not a very big person on like tampons, but I feel like if you are scared of disposing of your pad, because pads can be like very, very big, tampons are like sort of small, so you can just like wrap them in tissue and then flush it on the toilet if you don't have like trash cans and stuff. But if you don't want to go like the tampon route and you want to do pads, there's this method that I learned when I was young. Okay, not really young, like when I started my period, where you can literally like, it's disgusting, but you can like tear the pad into like half and then quarter and flush the pieces down the toilet. It's not encouraged, but in this situation, like, desperate times call for desperate measures, so I recommend doing that. But like, okay, I'm not normal, so yeah, but your school should be, suggest it to your school principal or something. Like, that's not normal. How can I do with a partner that barely communicates? I think I talked about this earlier. I did. The being patient thingy, whatever. Yeah, and just need to understand their point of view when it comes on certain things, because I feel like that's one thing that us girls don't understand. Us girls want princess treatment but don't want to treat our guys like kings. Like, you won't be able to get it without doing that. So do you think long distance relationships work? Yes, they do, as long as you both want them to. As long as you both want it to work. Strengthening your relationship with God as a young girl. I have a whole video about spirituality in the controversial chit chat. Check that video out. Okay, is it okay to have more than 3 best friends? No, you can only, as far as best friends are concerned, you can only have one. If you've got 2 or 3, one is always the most superior. That's a fact. So I don't think it's okay, because then you're giving fake promises to like each of them, because whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, there'll always be that one that's going to be superior. Even in friend groups, 4, 5, 6 people friend groups, there's always two, like there's always like a smaller, you know. So I don't think it's okay personally. Like, you can have close friends, but best friend is huge. Like, I feel like you should only have one, because you don't want to be sharing stuff with everybody. What do you use for your hair? Right now I'm using Jogro and black castor oil braid spray, because I've got braids in. They're working pretty well. Like, they retain my moisture. Like, you guys know, I told about how I never used to like oil my hair, stuff like that, but I've been trying my best to like moisturize my hair and scalp my hair as well. So that's what I'm using currently, and it's okay. Generally my hair has never been problematic. Like, my hair is not short, it keeps on growing. It's not long, but it's never giving me problems. Like, okay, it's not that long, but like, it's long enough. Yeah, so it's always been like calm. So I don't even have like a deep wash routine, whatever. I wash my hair when I've got my natural hair. I make sure I wash it like every week. When I've got braids in, yeah, protective styling, yada. Fashion, we talked about it. Is it advisable to use what? Is it advisable to use a tampon? Yeah, 100%. If you're comfortable enough, you can do it. Is your period something you should hide from a boy? Not your dad or brother, but just different boys. It's not something that you should discuss openly, but not something that you should be ashamed of at the same time. Because I feel like if they ask you a question regarding it, it's not something that you should be like, no, that's like the lights. Yeah, it's not that you should be like, oh no, we can't talk about this. Not what I'm saying. Like, if you're comfortable enough to talk about it, do so. But not obviously. It's not something to hide or to be ashamed of, but not something that you should mention to every single guy out there. Like, we all know that these things happen, so don't feel ashamed for having them, because all of us excrete blood every month. So yeah, can girls ask a boy out? 100%. 100. Shoot your shot. 100%. Just make sure you're doing it knowing that the guy is into you, otherwise you will be ashamed. Not ashamed, but you'll be embarrassed. Any clear skin tips? We talked about this already. With my boyfriend for 3 months, I can talk my head off on phone, but when we go out, I freeze. I literally feel to be as chatty as always, and I want to loosen up. How can I? And what are some of the things that I can do, that I can use to build a conversation? Like I said, spending a lot of time like in person is important, because then you get to experience like the person, you know what I'm saying? So do practical activities together if you can. Like, go for drinks, not getting drunk, but like, just go get some drinks, buy some donuts, like just cute things. Sometimes you don't even have to do flashy, you know, Instagram standard relationships. Like, walks, you know, get some drinks, go on a drive. Invest your time more into doing practical activities, because that kind of gives something to talk about. I think I also like talked about this earlier on. It helps. And sometimes don't be shy. Like, don't be shy to say anything that comes to your mind, because at the end of the day, we all have an open-minded person. So yeah, the next one was tips for when you get period cramps and you're at school. I suggest, if your cramps are as bad as mine, because mine get really bad, if you're in high school, go to the clinic, ask for a sick note, just say like I'm not feeling well, explain to them, they will understand. If they don't understand, then there's something wrong with that nurse or doctor. But yeah, if you're in university, you don't have to go to class. Like if you feel sick, like periods or something that are very crazy. But here's something that I do to help myself, like, you know, when I'm on my periods, when I've got cramps. Drink lots of hot water. It helps. It works like a hot water bottle, but because like it attacks like the area, you know, down there, like directly. Drink lots of hot water, because personally I can't take painkillers because I've got gastritis. I think you guys know that I've got gastritis, so I can't take painkillers like ibuprofen or Brustan. I know that the ones that people use a lot when they're on their periods. I can't take those things, sadly, so I just drink hot water. But I found hot water to be it's effective. Like hot water is effective because it helps. It works like instantly, you know. It's good. Use hot water, and then also do exercises like sitting up, whatever. I know it can be tricky, but it helps a lot as well. And then eat all the food that you want. Like if you're able to have someone buy you food or cook you something to eat, do that. It helps, because if you're hungry, it will not help you at all. And then rest and sleep enough, obviously. Don't feel lazy. Like don't become lazy. Find practical ways of, like, you know, like practical remedies of getting out of that bubble, because it's crazy. Where to get cute clothes for affordable prices. I think I talked about this earlier on as well. Do you think long distance? Oh, I think I already passed these questions. How to deal with fake friends. I talked about this earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself again. Is it normal to vomit on your period? Yes, it is, 100%. I have friends that vomit all the time. Personally, I don't vomit, but I have friends that vomit all the time. It's not something to be worried about unless you feel like there's a problem. Then you should see a doctor. Like if you feel like you've been misbehaving and there's a problem, then you should see a doctor. But like it's normal, 100%. It is. What do you think about having a lot of friends but still feeling left out? Then you shouldn't have a lot of friends. Like I'm one person that doesn't have a lot of friends. Okay, not that. But what I can say is I don't open myself up to that many people, because I feel comfortable alone, like in my space. If you still feel left out, then that should be an indication that either you feel uncomfortable around them or you're better off without so many friends, because it's way better to be by yourself where you feel comfortable. Like there's nothing wrong with not liking to hang around people, guys. Like let's embrace. Skincare, I've done it already. Is it okay to date your sister's ex? Communicate. Like I said earlier, as long as you guys have communicated about it and she's okay with it, then go ahead. If she's not okay with it, you have to listen to her and respect her boundaries. I find it difficult to balance on whether I should be kind or rude, but I'm naturally a kind person. When people take advantage of me, I feel bad and I think I should be less kind. Okay, so for me, I'm in that. Okay, let me not use me as an example, but I feel like be kind to people, but don't let people push you over and don't let people take advantage of you. You can do that by setting boundaries. Like if somebody is constantly walking over you, be able to say, okay, look, I know I've been kind to you, but I don't appreciate A, B, C, and D. Communicate to that person and let them know that you don't appreciate how they are to you. But most of the time, I think the easiest way not to let people walk over you is to, from the onset, when someone starts talking to you, you're like, look, I don't like A, B, C, and D. Respect this, and you move on. I feel like it's something that's hard to do. I know, especially like most of us are Christians, so we want to be like kind all the time. Be kind, but you can always be kind in a way that's going to let people know that okay, we can't break her, we can't fumble her, we can't disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? Like A, B, C, and D. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah. Alright, so the next question was, I lost my dad earlier in February this year. My condolences. And I'm finding it hard to cope with school. Guys, personally, I can only imagine what it feels like to lose a loved one. Like, there's really not much I can say about this, but what I can tell you is pray to God and ask him to help you. Like, I know that sounds so cliche, but that's one thing I feel like we underestimate when it comes to such problems. Like, God will bring you through anything that he puts you through. You know what I'm saying? And you know, coping with school and stuff, I feel like allow yourself to feel how you're feeling, because it's not easy, but just don't forget that life does unfortunately have to move on. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this because it's a sensitive topic, and personally we've all gone through it. So yeah. Then the last question that I have was, my boyfriend and I have been talking for 3 months. I've been for 3 months, we don't communicate, we don't text and call as much. What should I do? Girl, I feel like communication is key. Like, you guys have to be able to communicate and tell each other how you're feeling. Like, I don't like the green lights. Yeah, how you're feeling. I feel like it's extremely important, because once you're able to do that, it makes the relationship like 10 times easier. So yeah, guys, that was all the girl talk questions that I had from you guys today. I hope I managed to answer all of them. Depending on how I'm going to edit the video, I may split this into like 2 separate videos. So yeah, so anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys learned a lot, and thank you so much for your submissions. I always love doing Q&As up with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and come back next week for another banger. Just a reminder, I have left all the video links to all the videos that I have mentioned in the description box down below, and I was putting cards over here as well. So kindly click on those videos to get the more in-depth answers that I didn't give in this video. But otherwise, that's basically like it. And yeah, so see you guys next week in my next video. I'm done, I'm tired, I need to sleep.